What's up, everybody? I'm the Retro Nerd, and I'm bringing you an episode of Retro Night. This time around, we are playing Super Castlevania 4, or just simply Castlevania 4. Just added the Super at the beginning of it because, well, this wasn't a launch title, but it came shortly after the Super Nintendo came out, and like the N64 games, you know, with everything ending in 64, this suffered with the whole Super everything, you know, Super Castlevania, Super Mario World. Well, then again, Super Mario Brothers already had Super in the name, but you just had a whole bunch of games like that had Super at the beginning. So Castlevania also suffered that by being called Super Castlevania 4. But it's just simply known as Castlevania 4. Alrighty, so let's get down to some Castlevania goodness. The best one of probably the series. One of my favorites, Castlevania 4. So pretty much, this is sort of a retelling slash remake-ish, if you want to think of it that way. Sort of a retelling slash, like I said, remake of the first Castlevania. It's pretty much telling the same story about Simon Belmont having to go into Dracula's castle and fight Dracula. Now, besides that, you know, the difference between this one and Castlevania 1 is, well, of course, you'll notice the graphics. The characters are more fleshed out. They look, 10 times better than what they did. Don't get me wrong, the original Castlevania is still a beautiful masterpiece, but this takes the cake. This is like, fucking taking a Salvador Dali painting and like fucking framing it. This is beautiful. I mean, like, the first one is like, you have a let's say the first one's like a Van Gogh. Cool, cool and worth, lots of money, and it's really pretty. But then you get Super Castlevania 4, which is more like a Salvador Dali painting, which is weird, unusual, and probably worth, millions of dollars because of Salvador Dali. But yeah, that's how I compare the two. Like, this one's Salvador Dali because of how fucking crazy and insane it is. I mean, the graphics are nice and beautiful. The mechanics are nice and tight. The fact that you can whip in all directions, whip up, whip down, whip diagonally, and then you can let the whip go limp and just like move it all around. It's supposed to be a way it's supposed to be like if he was spinning it in front of him, like the whip is supposed to like help him guard. There's some weird shit like that. That's what they said it was for. And like all Castlevania games, as I've always been saying for a lot of the Castlevania games, beautiful fucking music, especially when I hear Bloody Tears comes on. Oh, that's my favorite Castlevania song. I hear that song come on, I'm just like, oh yeah, Bloody Tears. That's a Castlevania song for sure. It's just a beautiful, nice song. I love it to death. Every time I hear it come on, I'm like, yeah, fucking metal. But anyways, besides the music, sorry, I'm trying to think of something else, and this thought just popped in my head about something else. But yeah, I got a lot on my plate. I got a lot of stuff I've been planning. Like the 12 days of Star Wars and all that, and then I got Nintendo November I have to deal with next month. So sorry if sometimes it seems like I'm not all here. It's because I'm still thinking about other ideas and things I have to be doing. Okay, so besides the music, besides the graphics and all that, this game's so beautiful. I mean, who can not hate this game? I mean, it's so awesome. It's like one of the first games to like show off Mode 7 with the whole room that spins around you and all that when you're like platforming through and the room's spinning around, and you got the whole room that doesn't rotate around. Well, it rotates around you, like you pretty much hanging there by your rope on one of the little hooks, and like rotates around you and all that. The bosses are nice and cool. They're cool looking. They're challenging, but not too challenging. So like just casual players, you know, can pick it up and be like, oh, that boss was hard, you know, but you know, I could still beat him. You know, it's not like, oh my god, I gotta fight this boss. This boss is, you know, so fucking hard to beat. You know, that type of thing. The bosses aren't like, oh my god, they're like super like NES hard, you know, or like he should be on the list of like top 10 fucking hardest bosses or some shit like that. No, it's nothing like that. I mean, they're they're challenging, but you know, but easy to get through. Not too easy though, because they're challenging. But you know, you guys know what I mean. But yeah, I highly recommend you playing Castlevania 4. If you haven't played the first Castlevania, pick up this one, because you know, like I said, it's just pretty much a retelling of the first story. So pick it up and play it. It's fun. It's exciting. The music really draws you into like what you're doing and everything like that. And this, just the surroundings as well. It's like I said, it's like staring at artwork. It's so beautiful, you know. I recommend it. You can get it on the virtual console for, let's see, 800 points. That's probably like almost like $10. You know, I would say about $10, but it's worth it, because the original carts for the Super Nintendo, you know, go for a lot of money. So if you're a purist and you like collecting games, you know, go for the original cart if you have the dough to back it up. If you don't worry about it. Just get it on the virtual console like I did. Or you can get it for free, you know, ROMs and emulators as well, but I think it would be kind of hard to play that on a keyboard if you don't have a game controller. You know, some of those emulators won't support game controllers. Some do, some won't support some of the newer ones. You have to get like an older one or some shit like that. But yeah, pretty much I don't have much to say about this game, because it's a good game. It's really fun, fantastic, all the way through. And then you can also watch some of the speedrunners do some speedruns on this from the Speed Demo Archives. Speed Demo Archives, and then who else? I'm trying to think of who else does them, but it's just fun to watch and be like, oh, I never knew that trick, or that's a cool trick, I'm gonna try that trick, you know, that type of shit. So, but like I said, fun game, awesome game. Can't beat this game. This is like one of the best Castlevanias there is. So I highly recommend it. Go and get it. Anyways, guys, like I always do, and like I always say, I'm the Retro Nerd. This has been an episode of Retro Night. And get ready for it, everybody. Retro Nerd out.